tailgate. The Hilton Hotel will be open for a free public tailgate. And why sit in traffic? We can enjoy refreshing beverages and delicious eats from their very own food trucks. It is really good. Grant Cohn, you got to try out the chicken strips, man, with the special sauce. It is on fire here. The Hilton Hotel here in Santa Clara, right next to Levi Stadium, about 200 yards from the practice field. We're going to see Brock Purdy on the field for the first time all training camp. He was cleared. So much, a lot of people were surprised by that when Shanahan and Lynch mentioned that 2 days ago here in Santa Clara. So we got Joe Shasky here, Sam Love, and Tim Jordan. We got Steiny Guru coming up next. Grant Cohn, Sports Illustrated, does a phenomenal job covering the 49ers. I don't agree with everything he says, but damn it, I'll laugh.
But,
it is very entertaining.
I don't agree with everything my wife says.
Yeah, no doubt.
So who cares?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Creative tension's a good
listen,
thing.
I'm not knocking him. I just said that. It's great. It's great. It's a different opinion.
Can we start this off in the beginning? So I had my whole outfit picked out from the other day, and I had softball yesterday, so I picked up a new pair of shades.
Where are you going, Hawaii too?
Well, I had this picked out multiple days ago.
You picked it out or your wife?
For today. What do you think
your
of
wife?
this? My wife did give me that. This is my look for today. Will I be big douche vibes or not?
Yeah, you kind of...
You think of the whole thing?
Yeah,
with
the safari hat.
You like that? Well, this is my pink golf hat. I wear this a lot. Very fair skin.
I feel like you're on a safari with that. In 1987.
Well, I mean, I am hunting with the big dog over here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happens.
This is the lion. You know, it is the lion.
You are wearing a hat and sunglasses inside at 9:30 in the morning, but I think it's dope.
This is for out there.
Yeah, but you still
because
look
I'm going to be amongst all the journalists, and I'm not a journalist, and so I want them to
worries too
hate
much
me
about
more.
that. The game has changed. The game has changed. Stop worried about it.
I just wanted to wear all my most expensive stuff, so when I rip the players today, they know that I'm making money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not just your average journalist, dog.
So you got the Coach pounds.
I had to.
You know, you kept the Gucci at home. You got the polo hat live from the Hamptons, or back from the Hamptons, I should say, Grant Cohn. So look, Brock Purdy's going to hit the practice field today. We'll recap day one in just a second. But what is the number one thing you're looking for when you see Brock Purdy on a football field today?
Well, two things. With Brock, what's his arm look like? What does his arm look like? They say he's fine. The velocity is back. I want to see that. Can he push the ball down the field? Does he want to push the ball down the field? Is he 100% recovered? Is he working his way there? Because he's on a pitch count, right?
Right.
He can't throw more than 2 days in a row, right? So this feels like wishful thinking. Like, we're supposed to believe he's Superman. Man, this kid is just, gosh darn it, he came back so quick. Or are you pushing him? I'd like to know. And then the other thing is, how does Trey respond? Because Trey's been QB1 all offseason. Trey's been getting rave reviews all offseason. Someone asked Debo about Brock yesterday. How relieved are you that Brock's coming back? Debo's like, I don't know. Trey looks great.
You brought up the word competition, too.
Yeah. So he didn't even mention Brock. So I want to see how Trey responds. Like last year, he was QB1. He was looking good. Jimmy came back unexpectedly. And Trey I felt like he went in the tank a little bit. I feel like his confidence suffered. His performance suffered.
I feel like the teammates started murmuring, which I understand, because there's a human element to this. I want to get back to the arm injury thing because, look, I don't pretend to be Dr. Narav Pandya. I don't pretend to have some medical degree. People that I know that have had this similar injury, and I know they're going to say, it's not baseball. No, it's very similar to baseball. I'm not saying it's like for like, but there's comps. And I've heard from a lot of baseball guys who have had the Tommy John and the UCL and the forearm injuries and the elbow injuries, and they all say the same thing. So you're telling me most pitchers, most baseball players take a year, year and a half to ramp up, let alone 2 years. This guy in 3-4 months?
Yeah.
I mean, Bryce Harper is at the height of profession and when it comes to sports, and he took a full 6 months off to be able to even swing a bat again. I'm not saying that it's not real. I'm saying I'm just a little skeptical. I kind of want to see what it looks like. How is there not more fascination on that?
And it's like, are the Niners rushing Brock or is Brock rushing Brock?
Or is it both?
Because the way I see it is, from Brock's perspective, he's got the job for now. Kyle's never called him the starter.
Good point.
And if Trey gets the job week 1 because Brock isn't quite ready and Trey kills it, then goodbye, Brock. Like, we spent 3 first-round picks on you. We're spending $10 million. Like, it all worked out. We're smart. Trey's the guy. So Brock has to. Also, they could sign Kirk Cousins next year.
Yeah.
There's a lot of urgency on Brock to play right now.
No
and keep
doubt.
the job.
That's interesting.
There's a lot of pressure on all these guys, and it will behoove Brock Purdy to play well. That's why we've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks. I think Brock is in lockstep with the Niners saying, yes, I need to be back. I need to hurry up, because a lot of people do think it's fluky. There's some fans out there who said, well, we saw Jimmy win his first 5 starts in 2017. Who's to say Brock Purdy doesn't turn back into a pumpkin? Remember, Jimmy looked electric at times. Even though he threw 7 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, He was throwing to Marquise Goodwin, Trent Taylor, and Kendrick Bourne. And George Kittle wasn't George Kittle yet. And we all thought going into 2018, Jimmy was leading his team to the playoffs.
No doubt.
We did. We had the same feeling. Tell me we didn't have the same feeling.
We did. So let's stop it for just a second here. If this were Justin Herbert pre-contract, if this were Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes with the same exact injury, would there be a sense of urgency to rush him back, knowing that was their 10-year-long quarterback plan?
No.
Why?
Actually not, because he's the future. And the fact that the Niners are willing to potentially risk that future to get him on the field as soon as possible just lets you know where he stands. He's the guy, he's the leader in the clubhouse right now. That could be Trey tomorrow. It could be Trey next week. It could be Kirk next year.
Yeah, Darnold.
Yeah, man, they're paying him basically football minimum wage. Like, he needs to get on the field and play.
It's an interesting aspect.
We're talking to Grant Cohn, day one yesterday, because I saw a couple opinions, and from what I saw with my two eyes, I thought Trey Lance was the best quarterback on the field. No bias. It wasn't by much. I still think Trey struggles throwing to his left.
Yeah.
He threw a couple passes behind. Ayuk made a great play, but it was inside shoulder behind him.
Ball placement.
Not perfect ball play. He's got to work on that. But I thought he was better than Darnold. I'm sure in the hell think he was better than Brendan Allen. I don't get what the hype is about Brendan Allen. What did you see yesterday from the quarterbacks in day one in training camp?
I mean, it was just a brief snapshot, but let's focus on 11 on 11s. Trey was 4 of 5 with a scramble for a first down on 3rd and long. Darnold was 2 of 4 with a sack. Yeah. So and Brandon Allen was 1 of 4. Yeah. 0 for 3 in 11 on 11. Yeah. So the way I see it is the Niners have 4 quarterbacks. One of them is clearly improving this offseason. One of them. Trey Lance. People say that Sam Darnold's going to get better on the 49, like he's going to be Geno Smith, like maybe, but it hasn't happened yet. Brandon Allen was awful yesterday, and Brock Purdy hasn't had an opportunity to get better because he's been rehabbing.
Yes.
So that's why I feel like when asked about Brock yesterday, Debo, who's very smart and candid, was like, let's talk about Trey.
Yeah, we were in there with him, and it was fascinating. He brought the word competition, though.
Let's get into Sam Darnold for just a split second. I see what some people see. The thing that I don't see being mentioned, why is everyone afraid to critique his throwing style? He throws like this loopy. You see it too. Because we do this with Trey, which is fair, because I do think Trey's mechanics needed work. Why is no one examining how elongated and loopy and low? I can see why he gets stripped in the pocket as much as he does. It's a low, goofy, long, predictable, do you get where I'm going with this on the Darnold, on the arm slot?
We were standing there on the sideline yesterday watching them warm up, and I was pointing out to you guys, we were all pointing out. Look at how much shorter, quicker Lance's releases.
It was really cool.
And he doesn't bring the ball down. No. And then we're looking at it, and then Darnold throws next. And you're like, are you seeing what I'm saying?
Yes.
He's the one with the loop. And everyone's like, man, Darnold, the way he throws a football, he's just so great. He's got the most arm talent of anyone ever. It's like, man, if Trey threw like that, people would nitpick him to death.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
Yeah. Doesn't Trey have the most arm talent of anyone?
His spiral was tight yesterday. It had velocity. And we watched the individuals as well. Darnold threw a couple good deep passes.
He actually threw a really nice individuals,
but
the one that Ayuk was nice too.
It's been the same since USC. He's the same guy. You watch Pac-12. You're a UCLA guy. Watching Sam Darnold in college, I can't unsee it. There was one possession, he'll throw a pick six, and it looks terrible. Next possession, okay, nice little touchdown drive. I look at the big games against guys like Ohio State. Sam Darnold did not look like an NFL quarterback. He did not look like a quarterback who belonged on that football field. And yet we have 5 years of data to tell us that Darnold has been very poor at the quarterback spot. And yet we still look at Trey Lance saying, 4 games? He's not NFL ready.
Let me give you one play from yesterday that encapsulates Darnold, okay? He gets Danny Gray on Ambry Thomas. I mean, that's a win before the before the play starts.
And he had steps.
Danny Gray kills Ambry Thomas. No offense, Ambry. And all Darnold has to do is look off the safety and make the throw. Can't do either one. Leads Talanoa right there and underthrows the pass, hangs it up in the air, and Talanoa breaks it up.
He's always late, right?
Always.
Indecisive.
Indecisive, late. And
just
for a guy with all this arm talent, you just hung up this awful deep throw. He doesn't seem like a good deep thrower to me as opposed to Trey Lance. And with Trey Lance, he's a really nice deep thrower. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, but 85% of the throws in the offense are short throws. He can't hit the layups. Now he can. And everyone's like, oh, well, is it going to translate? Everyone keeps moving the goalpost. Some people seem to really not want Trey Lance to succeed.
Well,
it's
there's
crazy.
a confirmation bias by all of us in a lot of things that we do. And I noticed that yesterday from a lot of people. So, for example, Hufanga breaks up that pass. And if you're a fan, like I used to not be at practice, so I'm reading you and I'm reading all the other people that are basically reporting what they're seeing. And there's 2 pass breakups, the one with Darnold and Hufanga, and then the other one with Fred Warner. And I turned to him and I said, that was one of the best throws because there was nowhere to put that ball from Trey Lance. Both pass breakups, yet Fred Warner's play was an infinitely more incredible play by Fred and actually a perfect throw by Trey and just a better play by the defender, whereas the other one, I was like, Darnold had him. He missed him by just a tick. So there's context between the 2 pass breakups, yet to report that to the fans is very difficult because that's the job.
Because with Trey's, he was literally trying to layer a pass over Fred Warner and in front of a corner while Debo ran a deep crossing route. That's very difficult to do and pretty ambitious and aggressive, and you appreciate someone trying to do that in practice.
Third read.
What Darnold had to do was hit a wide open receiver down the sideline and not lead the safety there. And he couldn't do it.
And that ball hung up.
Yeah.
So I don't get the dialogue. We're talking to Grant Cohn here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game for a few minutes. Brendan Allen, where did that hype train come from? Is that a Shanahan created hype train? Is that
2.0
beat writers? Because I told him, I said, look, it's only one day. This guy looks small. I just don't see it. He's throwing wobblers. I don't see it.
I have a theory, and I can't prove it. So I'm on the record here. It's just a theory. I wouldn't be surprised if Trey Lance went up to the Niners during OTAs and requested a trade. I don't know that. But when they said Brock's coming back and Brock's our starter, if I were Trey, I would ask for a trade privately, respectfully. Guys, if Brock's your guy, please trade me so I can get another team. And I could see them being like, we can't until Brock's like back. But maybe then, and he's back now, right? So what does Kyle say? He says we got to find more reps for Brandon Allen. That sounds like you might trade Trey Lance, right? But
Brandon Allen.
But you look at him on the practice field every day, and you're like, man, he really is getting better. Is it really smart to trade this kid, knowing that we can't keep quarterbacks healthy, and the guy we want to start, we don't even know what he looks like. So I feel like he might be playing himself back on the team.
Real quick, Shasky, we were talking about this yesterday, Shasky. You can whiff on certain positions. They've whiffed on Reuben Foster. They whiffed on Solomon Thomas. They whiffed on Mike McGlinchey. Right now, Javon Kinlaw's a whiff. But whiffing on quarterbacks that high is a bad look. So it's like if Brock Purdy doesn't work out and you have Trey Lance waiting in the wings and you decide, hey, we're going to move on from Trey Lance, that falls on Shanahan and Lynch. Shanahan, we all said, who's your guy? Who's your guy? Who's your guy? You didn't like Jimmy. You didn't really like Mullins. You love CJ, and then you got rid of CJ. That looks bad on Shanahan if Trey Lance doesn't work out.
And they're trying to sweep it under the rug like, oh, well, who cares? We found a quarterback anyway. Yeah. But you just burned 3 first-round picks. Let's say you use one of those on Penei Sewell instead of Trey Lance. Do you win a Super Bowl?
Wow.
Maybe.
Micah?
Wow.
And you have to live with that question the rest of your lives. So work it out with Trey.
Well, I would say this, and you were saying that if I was Trey Lance, I would request trade. I would go in the opposite direction. If he was my son, there's just this me talking to him. It don't get much better than this. Look at this weaponry. Yes, it sucks right now. Think about what happened last year. 2 different guys benefited from this situation. Jimmy benefited from it, popped right in. Everything was good to go. Brock jumped right in, and they made the most of those. Make the most of your situation. And I think being a malcontent is actually a disservice in this one. I think of Carson Wentz. Everybody hates him.
Real quick, I wouldn't say I would never think of Trey as a malcontent. If he ever did this, I could see him being like, John, respectfully, I really appreciate everything, but if I'm not the guy, like, can you do me a solid? Because the Niners have been that kind of organization.
That's true. Quan Alexander.
Exactly.
And Trey and Brock,
like not a demand, but a polite request. Maybe that's the way I would think he would go about it.
Amicable solution. That makes sense.
And this is another thing that slips under the rug is that Brock Purdy has complimented Trey Lance over and over about, hey, this guy helped me out more than anybody on this football team.
Did Jimmy?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I never seen Jimmy on the sidelines.
Trey did.
Trey would go over there with the Surface, the little iPad. Hey, this is what I see, and he didn't have to do that. He could have been in the suite with the broken ankle, just chilling.
Yeah. So health is a huge component for all. The Brock thing. It feels in the way like the way we talked about Jimmy. Well, if he could stay healthy and this. What's your biggest concern outside of health for Brock Purdy this year?
Ooh, confidence, timing, rhythm. Like when he came in last year, what blew everyone away, it wasn't necessarily his like physical attributes. It was like, man, this guy's really confident.
Yeah.
He's really in tune with the offense. It's like he'd been on the team for a few years. And it's like he was 30. Like, is he still going to be like that, or is he going to be hesitant? Is he going to be like, man, can I make this throw? Can I fit in this window? Can I take this hit? Can I scramble? Like, if he's that guy, play Trey Lance. Play the guy who's been practicing every single day. So that's why I think Debo said yesterday, like, it's a competition. I think the Niners are trying to make it seem like, nah, Brock's a guy. It's no competition. Nothing to see here. Yada, yada, yada. Debo doesn't think that. Debo wants to see who looks better.
What do you think about Brandon Ayuk?
Real quick, didn't Debo prefer Jimmy last year?
Maybe. I think he might have, but I think I would have to say he prefers Trey this year, and I think Ayuk does.
No, but that to me, that's interesting. It's not like he's playing favorites. To me, I'm playing who I think is going to help us win and help me get more money. But Debo looks, oh my God.
He mentioned yesterday in that same presser that, Trey used to throw the ball too hard. He didn't take anything off it. Now he said he has a little bit more touch. He's throwing a very catchable football that's getting there. So Brandon Ayuk, it feels like he's always like Trey Lance. Brandon Ayuk feels like he's going to really take another level next year. And we talk about duos in 49er history. Brandon Ayuk looks like a guy who could be your wide receiver number one. And everybody's so quick to break apart Ayuk and Debo. Why not keep both? You need playmakers in the NFL, Grant.
Also, there is a racial aspect here, too. I think African-American players want African-American quarterbacks just to get a fair chance. And I think everyone realized that Trey hasn't really gotten a fair chance yet. He's not a bust. He hasn't gotten arrested. He hasn't done anything wrong. He's just gotten injured. He's been shelved. And now he's been kind of replaced. And I think a lot of people are like, wait a second. I see the work that he's doing. I know this guy. He deserves a fair chance.
You think that has something to do with some of the dialogue when it comes to Trey Lance? Because even the guy, Tom Curran in New England, when Brock Purdy was balling, Tom Curran works for the Patriots, and he's tweeting in all caps, bye-bye, Trey. It was like people were rooting against him. Why?
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's like the other side of the coin. I'm thinking about people who really want Trey to succeed, and people in his own locker room. I remember talking to Richard Sherman about Jameis Winston when Winston went to work with Bruce Arians in Tampa, and Richard Sherman was like, man, this is big for us. Like, we want black quarterbacks to succeed, and now he's in a great situation. Like, look what Bruce Arians is going to do with him. Like, I think a lot of black players want Trey Lance to succeed. A lot of people want Trey Lance to succeed. But it sucks to see a black quarterback get shelved like that unfairly. And he's still only 23, so you see his own teammates saying, wait a second, let's not anoint anyone yet.
That's the thing.
Trey's still here.
The thing I keep thinking about, you brought up he's 23. Like, everyone holds Bill Walsh in the highest regard. We give Bill credit for having Bono, Montana, and Young on the team together and figuring it out. And yes, it wasn't perfect. And he did some mistakes in playing, Steve Young on this drive and yanking Joe Montana. And there was almost turmoil and mutiny and all that. But it got the best out of all those guys. And when it was all said and done, if we're being totally honest here, wouldn't Bill just stand pat with what they have and let it play out?
I think he absolutely would. I think he would love to coach Trey Lance. If Jeff Christensen wants to coach Trey Lance and can get results, imagine what Bill Walsh could do.
Point.
I mean, I'm sure he would love a guy like Brock Purdy, but I'm sure he would keep his options open as well. I mean, this is a guy who had Joe Montana in his prime and was like, guys, we need another quarterback.
Yeah.
Guys. Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
83 draft, he tried to get Elway. And then in the 87, he traded for Steve Young.
And then bench Joe Montana in a playoff game against the Minnesota Vikings in 87. But whoever plays quarterback, I think we can all agree on, they've got the best weaponry they've had under Kyle Shanahan. Starts with Christian McCaffrey and what he does to open up this offense. You get Debo, who's in great shape, George Kittle, and then Brandon Ayuk. But this Christian McCaffrey, he's a quarterback's best friend, Grant.
And that brings it all the way back to Brock Purdy's urgency. Why does he need to get back on the field? Because what happens if Trey Lance plays with Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle? He's never done that. Brock has only played with all these guys. Lance hasn't yet. So what if he just kills it with McCaffrey? Brock will never play again. So, I mean, the McCaffrey effect is real, and I really want to see, how can they keep him healthy? Because I think that's the key for the
McCaffrey?
Yeah. If they can keep him healthy, they can go to the NFC Championship game again.
Yep.
But as soon as he goes down, the team is way different. They were scoring 19 points per game without him last year with all those guys. So,
wow.
That really is crazy.
Yeah.
I look at the Debo Samuel with Christian McCaffrey thing, the combination of the two, the spacing that it provides. I mean, you saw it in the Seattle game, the playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a great year. To all the schematics and the chess moving, you got to do it. And I really want to see with a healthy offseason and all these guys together, what does it look like for this team with Debo looking like he's looking and Kittle? How do you keep everyone happy? I think that's an element we haven't touched on. Like in basketball, touches is a big thing, right? Hey, I'm going to get my shots. You think that's a problem here?
Yeah.
Even a little?
I mean, it was a problem for Ayuk, right? At the end of last year, he was like, fourth option on a run first team. That's exactly what he's talking about. Now he's in a contract year. So you can't do that to Ayuk anymore. Ayuk needs to get his touches. So who's going to take a step back? Someone you already paid. George Kittle. Are you cool with that? Not as many targets, but maybe we'll give you more touchdowns. Or Debo. Are you going to do that? You paying Debo too much, so he can't take a step back. It's tough. I mean, ideally, you'd be throwing the ball more because you have the best receivers in the league, but you don't have the offensive line to pull it off. That's too bad.
The right tackle spot is really... I'm hesitant. That's all. I'm just hesitant.
Jake Brindle in the middle.
But I was hesitant last year.
Are we sold on Jake Brindle in the middle here? I want to go over to the defense before Grant leaves here.
Yeah.
Defensively, last year, obviously, a top 3 unit. How do they stack up this year with Bosa, Drake Jackson on the other side? And then, of course, you got 2 of the best linebackers in football, Drake Greenlaw, Fred Warner Jr. Where are you at with the defense, Grant?
It's still a great defense. It could be even better because the weakness of their defense for like a decade has been their secondary. And Steve Wilkes is like a great secondary coach. The front seven, it's going to, Kasarik is it's going to be great, but they need the back end to pick up the slack. And it started last year. Now you're going to have, I think, a great secondary. Like Talanoa Funk is going to take another step forward.
What about Lenore?
I want to talk about Jair Brown. I think Jair Brown is the guy. I think he could be special for the Niners. Like, I'm not saying Ed Reed, but like I think they have the same exact measurables. That he's that guy, and he's with the twos right now. But I wouldn't be surprised if he starts week 1, and he's the best safety they have, not Talanoa.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a statement because Talanoa was very good for about 8-9 weeks last year.
Did you hear Talanoa talking about him?
No.
He was like, "Man, this guy is rangy." Like I didn't realize. Like he was like saying, "Like I can't do that. I can't do that."
Where are you at with the corners though? Because you kind of scoffed a little bit at Lenore, and I think Lenore took some steps forward.
I like
him last year.
Did.
Where are you at with these guys?
Lenore's a great pro, and he goes against Ayuk every day. He's just 5'10", and he doesn't have a 42-inch vert, so he's not really Jason Verrett, and he kind of does get mossed at the catch point sometimes. But other than that, he's really good. I mean, he tackles. He had those big picks in the playoffs. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, Ambry had some big picks in the playoffs and then fell off. But Ambry, to me, I take shots at Ambry so much. And I saw him yesterday, and I was like, I can't look you in the eye. I'm so sorry. I feel like Ambry hasn't quite I'll be nice. Like he hasn't really become a true pro yet.
Interesting.
And he's young.
Yeah.
Lenore is. I don't know how it happened, but he's very professional, very strong. I think you could do a little bit better. I think they want it. Like Darrell Luter Jr., he's 6'1". You know what I'm saying?
We're talking about him.
They just want a bigger corner on the
nice.
outside, but he's hurt.
So everybody was looking at Debo around the waist, and it was very evident from far away. Like, wow, he looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
I walked up on Drake Jackson that just happened to be there, and I looked at him and I said, okay, because I had said last year, it's a guy that needs an NFL nutrition weight program. You could tell, but he's athletic as hell. I looked at his body and I said, he's the guy I'm betting on to take a huge jump up this year. Why is he not getting enough buzz in terms of him changing his body?
Because the pads haven't gone on. Wait till day 5. Monday the pads go on. And if Bosa's still holding out, then Drake Jackson will be like front and center. Give him a week. I feel like when the pads aren't on, it's 7-on-7. It's always about the DBs and the wide receivers and the quarterbacks. But it's going to happen. And if he starts racking up wins in the one-on-one drills, the one-on-one drills.
Yes, oh yeah.
He's going to be going against Trent Williams. And so, if he wins those, you're going to hear about him.
And the other guy that I thought took a big leap, again, it's just one day. TDP looked very different.
Yep. Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
Well, you can see it. Like, are you hesitating behind the line?
Yeah.
Are you shuffling your feet? Those guys don't make it on this offense. Like the guys who make it are the guys like Raheem Mostert, where it just seems like
foot down.
You just see it, and he didn't see it last year. Mason did, and now it seems like for whatever reason he was finding the creases and getting big gains, running hard. I think he's going to be okay.
Is Elijah Mitchell on the move, possibly?
He could be. I mean, you saw what happened to Jeff Wilson Jr. when he fell down. Like, Elijah Mitchell probably sees himself as a starting caliber running back. Right. And if he's third string on this team, they might do him a solid.
Health issues, right? You can't say healthy.
Nah.
He's a very dynamic player for his 6 to 12 carries. Anything more than that, I think, is asking too much. He's always one tackle away from a high ankle sprain, it feels like.
Right, because he runs like he's 240 pounds, but he's 205.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really doesn't have an NFL body like TDP and Mason.
Well, TDP, you could tell. I said to him last year, like looking at him last year, just physically, he looked like he came from a Power 5 big-time program. Just physically looking at him. But this year, the vision and everything, he looks way more comfortable.
Yeah, and the Niners have this undrafted running back, Kalen LeBurn, 36.
So they were using him yesterday.
Yeah. He reminds me of Elijah Mitchell.
Where did he come from?
He was like a 5-star recruit who went to Florida State, tore his ACL, went to Marshall, and then tore it up last year. He had a great year last year at Marshall, and he's like 24. Another one of these like COVID guys.
They love finding these running backs 2.0.
Too. Yeah, but he ran a 4.3.
I mentioned it yesterday too. I was like, I could see Elijah Mitchell being on the move because Mason ran hard, especially in that Seattle game on Thursday Night Football.
I like
to ice that game away. You got McCaffrey, TDP again. He had some wiggle yesterday.
And Debo.
I don't know if there's room. And there's Debo. Yeah, there's no doubt.
What about tight end 2? Because to me, tight end 2 is the most under-talked about thing on this team. Kittle is going to miss a game or two, and you need somebody else. If you're going to be a run-first team, I don't see it with Latu.
Either. Dwelly. I still love Dwelly. I feel like whenever they throw him the ball, he catches it. I don't understand what the problem is, but like, I like Dwelly. We'll see with Latu. Latu's the kind of guy, like, I don't think he's going to shout in practices because he's not going to be.
He's just big.
He's not going to beat man-to-man coverage.
Yeah, he's kind of like
he looks
Juwan
slow.
Jennings.
What about this Willis kid? He looks like he's got a good body type.
Willis looks like a fullback to me.
He looks like the H-back that they wanted Jalen Hurd to be.
Or you know how the Rams use Ben Scarani?
Yeah,
Yep,
good call.
yep.
That. I think he's like 10 pounds heavier than Scarani. Because it's like, is he going to beat safeties? I don't know. But if you put him at fullback and get him matched up on linebackers, toasted.
Yeah.
So I think that's how you're going to see that. But like Latu, are you going to beat anyone in any matchup? Or are you the guy that like, they get you on like the play action bootleg and you get him in the flat and he just runs through people? Maybe he's that guy. I don't know. He could be that guy.
Alabama tight ends have struggled over the last decade in adjusting to the NFL. O.J. Howard, Irv Smith Jr., they've had some struggles.
I mean, if he's a red zone threat, if he's a blocker and he's like a tackle breaker, then he'll be good. But we can't see that in practice.
All right, before you get out of here, I want to know, Grant Cohn, what are you watching on television right now that's not sports? What are you streaming?
I'm watching Suits, which isn't a good show.
Oh, okay. But
That's the Hulu show, right?
It's not a
It
good
keeps
show.
promoting it on Hulu.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm watching it. Like, Meghan Markle's in it, and like, she's like terrible.
The
Is it a
Markle?
fake Billions?
Yeah.
Is it a fake Billions or
Kind of like that. It came out like 10 years ago, and like it's seeing her try to like emote on screen. It's hilarious to me. So I think that's why I watch it. And also, I think it's funny that Prince Harry was watching that show, being like, "That's the one. This has got to be me." Yeah. So
all right, I asked Fred Warner this. I'll ask you this. In honor of Taylor Swift being here tomorrow, my wife's going to it. Taylor Swift, E40. Who do you want a photo with?
man, I've been a fan of E40 since I was like 7.
Me too.
It have to be E40.
Okay.
He's one of my favorite people of all time.
Absolutely.
When he got kicked out of Sacramento, like that hurt me. So I have to be
Now
E40.
I have to ask you about Jordan Poole and Draymond Green.
What was funny is that I've never met E40, but my dad's met him a bunch of times.
Oh,
Because
yeah?
I remember Chronicle Live back in the day. So he'd always be in the group,
That is
and my dad
so
has
right.
no idea who E40 is. So he could be like, "Have you heard of this E40? He's just the nicest guy." Now I think he might be drinking wine, but he's just the nicest
Carlos
guy.
Rossi,
I was like,
Dad.
"Dad, he's definitely drinking wine." Yes.
After Game 40 in Sacramento, he came to the gatehouse. After Game 40 in Sacramento, and he was sweating so hard. It's like, you know what, 40, just take this one off, man. We know, we can tell you're running on E right now.
He needs to retire, man. He's like the hardest working dude ever. He must be 55 years old. Like, man, you did it, man.
He's a
getting it
mascot.
back,
He's
though.
the Bay Area sports mascot
He's getting
now.
it back.
I love him.
He's getting it back. Big time, man.
How does he wear a beanie indoors everywhere?
He takes it seriously. He's never not in character.
He really is.
no doubt.
He's never just like, "Hey, I'm Earl today. I'm just Earl. You can call me Earl."
No, you call him 40.
Yeah.
You call him 40 without the R.
That's right.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
my
Greg
God.
Cohn, get out of here, man. Practice is going to start in 30 minutes.
You're the best.
We appreciate the time,
Love
man.
you, buddy.
Greg Cohn, everybody. Follow him on Twitter at your own risk. Greg Cohn, of course,
Love you
covering the
guys.
49ers.
Straight
doing a
from the
great job.
Hamptons here to the Hilton.
Yeah, no, he's looking dapper,
I mean,
man.
the guy looks incredible.
He's out there with no socks on.
You know?
I don't know how he's